Hello, and welcome to part one of this two-part Accenture Insurance podcast series with Mark Halverson, Accenture's global lead for life insurance distribution services and wealth and asset management services. Today, we'll start the discussion around how the insurance industry is facing unprecedented challenges arising from digital disruption. In Accenture's Digital Innovation Survey, we examine the ways in which insurers have begun reinventing themselves and their business models to take them beyond their current roles, activities, and revenue streams. Mark, what are some of the characteristics of these carriers? And more importantly, what are their options in today's digital world?
That's a great question. For so many of the carriers that are trying to embrace the new digital age, they're really going back to the future and thinking about what the role of insurance is in society. And their opportunity to bridge into a new set of risks and really embrace the shift that's going on, the shift in risk pools and the shift in society and the shift in technology that creates these new risk pools is creating some tremendous new opportunity. So their role, if you think about insurance's role in society, is to make innovation a safe reality. And that's really where some of the leading edge insurers are looking to go, is to go back to the future and embrace that role. As we've touched on in a previous podcast, the horseless carriage would never be where it is today without regulation and insurers stepping in to address it. But the risk of individuals is now shifting. And with the advent of autonomous drive and nanotechnology and genetic engineering and robotics, those are all the new risks that insurers need to begin to embrace and reposition themselves to take on a role in addressing that risk and making those innovations a safe reality.
What should insurers aspiring to be digital transformers be doing to advance their business models for future success?
Yeah, there's quite a few things that insurers are looking to do to not only enhance their current business model, but also position themselves for future revenue and new business models. Clearly, there's a great deal of attention on digital today, and digital is being used in multiple different ways. Certainly it's being used to enhance the experience of the end insured as well as the experience of the agent. And that's a critical opportunity for insurers to embrace. And secondly, it's looking to reduce the overall cost to drive insurance services. So looking at more straight-through opportunities, looking at enhanced claims capabilities, and using technology and digital as a way to simply reduce the cost to deliver these services. Now, that's incredibly important for the existing business model of selling premium and product. But the opportunity is not only in enhancing or optimizing the current business model, it's also in extending that business model to new opportunities. And the new opportunities tend to be less about product and more about addressing a higher percentage of the end insured's needs. So not just one product, but how do I become a part of people's daily lives in a very positive way? How do I become their risk manager? How do I become their advisor? And frankly, that's a different business model than selling product. And it's an opportunity as individuals in society and technology change for the insurers to take on a different role and frankly create new revenue streams because of it.
Accenture's Digital Innovation Survey shows that only 25% of carriers are positioned to be digital transformers. What are the risks for insurers that can't or won't make this shift?
This is a very interesting problem for insurers to face. What most firms are hesitant to recognize is that their brands may not be successful in driving to new business models and moving into new areas. So in most surveys that Accenture does and many others that exist in the industry, they simply reflect that consumers and insureds don't necessarily respect insurance as an industry or individual firms in the way that the industry views itself. So many of the insurers are trying to reposition their brands or even position their brands as a positive part of people's daily lives and as the center of new ecosystems, but it's not obvious that individuals and consumers think of the insurance companies that way. So the opportunity that insurers have, the need that they have, is to look at some of the new revenue models that they can explore, understand their role in new ecosystems, even if that role does not mean it's the lead brand and that they're positioned directly up against the insured or the consumer. So to me, that's an important concept, because if they don't embrace that, they may become irrelevant in the sense that they will attempt to position for new business models, but they won't be credible to the end insurers or the consumers in that new role.
What trends are you seeing that indicate a threat to the insurance industry as it currently operates?
This to me is a very fundamental question. So the whole concept of pooling and underwriting which became the essence of the insurance industry, is currently being threatened and being questioned. The core value proposition of insurance is being questioned. One argument could be made that the reason that we pooled and underwrote was because we didn't have enough information to price risk directly. Well, in an age of the Internet of Things and big data and sophisticated analytics and artificial intelligence and cognitive computing, that may be changing. Therefore, there's a real question now as these new technologies and capabilities emerge to say, what is the core value of insurance? And to me, that's one of the key threats. There are others that will move in, not as insurance product providers, but instead as risk managers and advisors. And they will help people mitigate the risk as a positive part of their daily lives without necessarily even having the insurance component. And when that becomes true, it will start to even further plant in the minds of consumers and insureds to question whether the value proposition of insurance is as strong as it once was, and if that need continues to exist.
Where are these competitors outside the insurance industry coming from?
What we're seeing is that a lot of the risk that has traditionally been the basis of the insurance industry is now being managed in a more sophisticated way by big data and analytics. And we mentioned the Internet of Things and the sheer amount of data that's going to be thrown off by all of the additional sensors that are being placed in homes and cars and on people in wearable computing and ingestible and implantable computing. The sheer amount of data is increasing dramatically daily. So the capability is really going to be about managing that data in real time that allows people to become a risk manager and an advisor in a very different way. One could argue that the nature of insurance has traditionally been quite passive, and an individual product is not necessarily something that can be engaged with in a positive and proactive and real-time way. But what we're seeing is that the people, the firms, and the industries that are quite exceptional at managing big data in real time, those are the ones that are starting to chip away at the insurance industry.
It's been great speaking with you. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. I certainly enjoyed it.
You've been listening to Mark Halverson, Accenture's global lead for life insurance distribution services and wealth and asset management services. If you'd like more information on how Accenture can help, please visit accenture.com/insurance.